Good afternoon. It's Michael Lutzmann here, one of the co-managing directors of the Opimian Wine Club, and I'm here today to try our Facebook Live Thursdays, our Talk and Taste Thursdays at noon instead of 5 p.m. Eastern. So I'm actually here in Kitchener, Ontario at 12 o'clock noon. So for those of you in Eastern Canada, you're in the afternoon and you can join me in the drinking. And depending on your pensions, if you're west of me and it's before noon, well, what the heck? I'm not going to tell anybody anyway. So again, I'm Michael Lutzmann, and today I get to show you some Clos Cantenac, which is a premium wine from Saint-Emilion. Saint-Emilion is my favorite appellation in the world, and I'm not saying that just because I'm doing Clos Cantenac today. It is just a wonderful place on the right bank of the Gorgon River. So you've got Margaux and Médoc on the left bank, and they tend to be very Cabernet Sauvignon forward. And on the right bank, there tends to be more Merlot. So you get I wouldn't say lighter wines. They're certainly lighter than ones that are mostly Cab Sauv. But with Merlot, you get more depth. And what I can tell you is that before I took wine training and I knew that Saint-Emilion was actually Merlot forward, I didn't really like Merlots. And what I discovered is that I really hadn't tried any good ones. So now that I have, I'm again, if it says the Saint-Emilion on the label, I'm in. In restaurants, I buy them all the time. And here at Opimian, when we get Clos Cantenac, when we do Bordeaux, Beaujolais, and Bergerac, these are wines that are always on my list. And I've actually got 3 of them right here in my cellar, which I've brought out so that I can taste them with you. And I just think it's brilliant. So why don't we talk a little bit about Clos Cantenac again in Saint-Emilion? And I was lucky enough to have Charlotte, who is Martin began it, and then Charlotte has come into the business full time, and she's gone to live in France. I met her, and she has a British accent, and she's now making the wines. But she came here to Canada to do an Opimian event for us, and so I was able to be down in Niagara with her at the Old Stone Inn. We did an event and got to taste these wonderful wines last year that I'm going to open today to taste with you. So I think we'll start with the glassware lesson. If you've been with me before, then I apologize for repeating myself, but this is kind of my go-to everyday glass. It's still very light. You know what, like I don't want to go with a really heavy glass because I find that it just doesn't express the wine in the way that I want it to. This is my very favorite glass. It's supposed to be only for Pinot Noir, but I'll confess I use it for a lot of other reds. Probably wouldn't work for a white wine because the bowl is too big, but I just love it. It's so ultra light and it's just beautifully shaped. This is a Riedel glass, and this one is the lower end Riedel, so that when I break one, which I did the other day, I don't have to cry too long, just a minute or so. So also, I think I told you last time as well that this is a 6-ounce ISO glass that when you take wine classes and when you're doing wine tastings where you're doing 30 to 300 wines in a day, this is the one that they will put it in regardless of sparkling or any other type, and so that you can just taste. It actually concentrates the nose so that you can go quickly. And so it's one that we use for professional tastings. Obviously a very small glass too, so it's when you get a 1-ounce pour in it, it's still a substantial amount in the glass so that you can actually swirl it and see it. So I actually have 3 of the Cantenac wines here today, which why don't we start with the lightest? And so this is the L'Exuberance Rosé. And it's got a really neat closure on it. I often talk about closures too, so I hope you don't get tired of that. But you know how we're going from cork to screw tap, and now this one is actually a glass, and you just have to take it out like that and get it on yourself. That worked well. So this, oh, I can smell it already. It's a wonderful thing. And I'm going to use this glass because it's more fun and it's easier for you to see. So, L'Exuberance, it is a rosé, obviously, and it's a nice dry rosé, which rosés used to have a bad name, and they've come a long way, and they're being made so beautifully now. And given the heat, sometimes I was going to do this outside, but I decided not to. It's kind of blustery out there. I was going to do it poolside, and this is the perfect poolside wine. Oh, I can smell the strawberry. So floral and wonderful. So this is a great sipping wine on your back porch in the summer. I'll confess that I do drink some rosés during the winter as well. Obviously inside, I'm in Kitchener, Ontario, so it's very cold here. But so very, very clean on the palate. If I can say that it's cleansing, so that when you're sitting on the back porch, it's relatively low in alcohol, so you can sip away for the afternoon. You can have this with all sorts of things that you'd bring out if you were to bring out your nacho dip, or if you were going to bring out some crackers with smoked salmon and cream cheese. This would be a lovely wine to have with that. And again, just sipping on its own. So I'm getting, again, strawberries and just really light fruits. There's the slightest little touch of raspberry there. And what's really cool about these three wines that I'm doing today is it's coming in three formats. So you can buy it in 350 ml bottles, and you can also buy it in a Magnum, which is 1,500 milliliters. And you can also buy a double Magnum, which is 3,000 milliliters. So, you know, you can get typically 5.5 glasses out of a bottle. So out of that double Magnum, you can actually get 20 to 25 glasses out of that bottle. And I wondered if any of you had seen one. This is not the Cantenac, but this is a 300 milliliter bottle of rosé, 3,000 milliliters, sorry. So it is a showstopper when you have an event, I can tell you, when you have people over and you open that up. And this one even has the wax on the top, so it's just a gorgeous bottle. And it makes a dinner an event, or even like I've had one of those 3,000s. I open it up at the at a pool party around the pool, and it gets accolades every time. So hi Kim Tien, nice to see that you're on with me, and Catherine, thank you very much. And Madame Douillard, hello Carol. It's so nice to have you on with Facebook with me. I guess this makes it easier to be in France at noon. It must be only 6 o'clock over there, so that's much easier. It was such a pleasure to have you visit us here too. And so just so you know, Carol, who's watching the call, she makes one of the champagnes that we'll have on the champagne offering later on, and absolutely brilliant. So thanks a lot, Carol. So I'll be finishing this glass later, so I should have brought more glasses. Quite remarkable. I should tell you that rosé is called L'Exuberance from Clos Cantenac. I'll show you the label one more time. There you are. I've got the 2015 here, but it is the 2018 or 19 that's in the Cellar Offering. So there's a 6-bottle case at 750 mils for $37 in Ontario, and that varies across the country, as all of you know. And then the Magnum, which is 1,500 mils, that's $77 in Ontario. It's only 3 bottles per case. And then the big 3,000 double Magnum is $172, and it's you only have to buy it in a case of 1. So you could buy 3 cases, but you only have to buy 1. And when you think about $172 and you're getting 25 glasses out of that, it's actually a really good value, and a lot less than you would spend if you went out for an event like that. So hello Lois, welcome, thank you for coming. And I agree with you that the Cantenac wines are magnificent, and I always say that wines taste better when you know the winemakers, and Martin and Charlotte are just amazing people, and they make great wine, and they're in Saint-Emilion. It doesn't get much better than that. So now because I only brought down one of my favorite glasses, I'm going to use the ISO for the next one, and let's work our way up. This is the Petit Cantenac Saint-Emilion, and as we discussed earlier, that when you're in the Saint-Emilion on the right bank in France, then it's going to be Merlot forward. And I was surprised to find out, and I haven't opened this bottle yet, but this is 90% Merlot, 5% Cab Sauv, and 5% Cab Franc. Those are the three grapes that typically make up the classic Bordeaux blend. So it's, again, Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, and Merlot. And each one is added to the blend in order to add something else. So, you know, Cab Sauv is for that strength, for that really hard hit. Cab Franc for its kind of funkiness, in my opinion. The winemakers may take exception to the way I describe this. And then the Merlot is kind of a lighter body. So you can actually start pairing something like this, instead of it always having to be with lamb or really heavy roast beef. You can actually bring it down to veal, and you can do it with cheeses and that sort of thing, and not even strong cheeses. So here we are with the Saint-Emilion Grand Cru. How lucky am I to be able to open this? This is the Petit Cantenac, and let's see what it looks like. Can you see? I've got to go a little higher. You can see how dark and gorgeous that is. I like to hold it up to a white sheet so that I can see it better. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful ruby. This one is, I'm doing a 2014, so it's 6 years old. It's got a long way to go too. It's drinkable now. The wonderful things about these Grand Crus, they're drinkable once you receive the bottle, but you can also put them down and they'll last 10 or 20 years quite easily. And that's one of the beauties of having Jane choosing the wines for us, is that we get that full range. She'll give us entry-level wines and easy drinking wines, but she's also great at finding these jewels of Grand Crus, which are, you know, because they're exclusive in Canada to us. It's really quite a feather in our cap to be carrying a Grand Cru like this, and we certainly appreciate Clos Cantenac doing that for us. Hey, Steve Jones, nice to see that you're on with us. Welcome. And so this one, wow, this has tons of leather on the nose, all sorts of blackberries, and kind of jammy blackberries. So it's like rich and solid, and you know, I've got some training, but I'm certainly no Jane Masters, so I might have mistaken this for a left bank wine because of its strength. But it's, because it's Merlot, 90% Merlot, it can still you find it in the middle there. So let me try it. I tell you, I am a lucky man. I get to try these day in and day out, and get to see people like you every day. And we had the AGM yesterday, and it went exceptionally well. We had over 100 members on it because it was online. It was easier for members to attend. We would usually only get 20 or 30 when we do it locally. So that worked out well. So I have the best life ever, and I've got one of the best wines ever. This is, again, Petit Cantenac. And I actually asked Charlotte when she was here about the difference between the Petit Cantenac and the Cantenac that I will show you next, which I won't open because Greg told me I can't. No, he didn't. I just I will keep that one for later. But so this is kind of it's a Grand Cru that's in a more affordable price range. So this one, again, it's incredible that it comes in 3 sizes. So you can get it in the 750 to 1500 and the double magnum 3000 milliliter. And sequentially, that is $56, $111, and $229. And again, to be able to have a Saint-Emilion Grand Cru 3000 milliliter bottle for $229 is just remarkable. Like it's beyond. I didn't have one of their magnums, but this is a magnum as well. So that's the 1500 milliliter type bottle, and it's an unusual shape, I know. But again, showstopper whenever we have people over. When we can seat 12 at our main table, and then we've got a second table that's in an adjacent room that can seat 10. So we will often have dinner parties with 18 to 20, 22 people. And so these large formats are just fantastic. So again, the lot numbers on the Petit Cantenac, which I just tried, are 1937, 6 bottles in a case, 1938, 3 bottles of the Magnum, and 1939, it's double Magnum, 1 bottle per case for just $2.29. And I'll tell you, like that's really incredible. How many times have you gone out to a restaurant with a group of 15 or 20 people, and the wine bill is considerably more than that? So the last one I'm going to do for you this afternoon. It's already afternoon. It's certainly where I am. And hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you. And those were the Ontario prices that I was telling you. So hopefully you got those. I'll have a quick reboot for that toward the end. So this is the Grand Cru, the Clos Cantenac Grand Cru, and it comes in this beautiful thing. The one that this came in was a wooden case. I don't know whether this year's vintage is coming in a wooden case, but it will come wrapped like this. So again, it's wonderful presentation. I always leave these on until I'm presenting them at the table. I think it looks really cool. And as I said, I'm not going to taste this one, but just unwrap that. And here we are with the full Clos Cantenac 2015. It's a beautiful label again. This is Martin and oh, now I've lost it, haven't I? Charlotte's wine. And so the difference for this one, its prices for the Grand Cru are $94 for the 750 ml. And it's $187 for the Magnum, and that's 3 to a case. And then 1 per case of the 3,000 of the top Grand Cru, $382, which is those are 1940, 1941, and 1942 are the lot numbers. So they'll be in your cellar offering that you get at home. If you're not a member of Opimian, you can become one by going to opimian.ca. And then you will be able to go online and see all of these. And all of our members can either go online, but they also get a beautiful cellar offering at home, which I haven't received yet, so I can't show you. But nonetheless, I am here with the Petit Cantenac yet again, and it's because it's only noon. Probably 5 o'clock, I'll open the full range one. And oh, by the way, I'm in front of my favorite room of the house, which is my beautiful wine cellar, if I don't say so myself. I do say so myself, and I hug it every morning when I get up. I just absolutely love it. It is my favorite room in the house. So I covered everything. I've got those 3 wines from Clos Cantenac. They are available now. We are just in week 1 of a 5-week cycle for cellar number 277. And if any of you have any questions about it, I better scroll down to make sure I haven't missed a question. Lois is asking, oh, you have the Petit Cantenac. Congratulations and enjoy that. So, and again, these are, even though Merlot, they're a heavier wine, so you can get away with having this with steak. You could do it with lamb, but I would probably stay not quite as meaty as that. And so you could do a veal, something like that. This would even not overpower a cream sauce with something. So you could absolutely do that. And if none of you have any other questions, I've been on 20 minutes already. So thank you for listening, and it's a pleasure. So it's Opimian Wine Club at opimian.ca, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care.